We didn't necessarily get married by choice.
How can a single dad be able to raise up your daughter yourself?
That is tough.
That's when the denial kicks in.
Gosh. So, right here. I'll talk about red carpet treatment.
Hi, my name is Ibrahim. I'm 38 and I'm a single dad.
Hi guys, my name is Rafi. I'm 37 years old and I am a divorced father.
What was the situation like leading up to the divorce?
The divorce itself was the culmination of a rocky journey for the relationship as a whole. We didn't necessarily get married by choice. It was basically a shotgun wedding, so to speak.
It has been tense ever since from the start.
How did your family react when you told them you are divorcing?
My parents didn't take it very well. So for them, marriage is, a sacred thing. And it's not something that you can just discard or whatever and stuff like that. They felt that we're not doing enough to try and fix things.
My family were all cool, so okay, because they understood my situation and they're like, well, that's best for you.
But ultimately, they concluded the same thing that we had concluded, that this wasn't working and we needed to move on from this particular chapter of our lives.
What is the most difficult part of a divorce?
Gosh.
I had been going through a state of denial, depression. I was so-called, how people say, angao lah after the divorce.
I think the most difficult part was trying to figure out what to do with our child. We had one child together and there were lots of questions, legality, technicalities, emotionally, mentally about what that entails, like how do we sort out this particular problem. And naturally there was a lot of disagreement about that, which further added to the acrimony that we were suffering at that moment in time.
How did you explain the divorce to your kids?
I didn't explain to her, but she gradually started understanding because seeing her mother is no longer in the house, away. She slowly understood by herself how it was, and I also told her that both mommy and daddy are no longer together, so she understands.
The explanation was quite simply, mommy and daddy fell out of love and it was best that we separate. But the important thing was that we also needed to be very clear that it had nothing to do with her, right? It was just us not being able to work things out.
What was the most unexpected outcome of your divorce?
I guess I should have seen this coming. Living in an Asian country, in an Asian society, the sheer volume of input that you are going to get from your family, your extended family, people you didn't even know were your family, about this very personal journey that you're going through, right? Which is a divorce.
To depression, that was it. After the divorce, I started realizing, okay, I'm going to be alone, I don't have anyone, I'll be handling myself, so that's when the denial kicks in.
You're sitting across the aisle, the court aisle, you're sitting across from somebody that you once, regardless of how the current situation is, that you used to really care for. That's already draining enough. And then to come home and then to field messages and phone calls and all that from various people offering deeply disturbing and unsolicited opinions about your course of action. That is tough.
Are there any social stigmas associated with divorced men that you have had to face?
Men in this country get a bit lucky with divorce. It's a deeply patriarchal country. But the burdens are placed on women, right? In a lot of cases where, if the guy cheats, then it must be the woman's fault that he decides to dip his stick in other waters. And obviously that's not fair. From a social stigma standpoint, I don't think I suffered too much, at least compared to my ex-wife, and I sympathize with her for that.
No, I never faced anything negative from anyone. They're very supportive. When a couple divorce, they always think the mother will take care of the kids. They're like, oh, how can a single dad be able to raise up your daughter yourself?
But then there's the other side of the coin as well, where the other stigma that I've had to deal with is the very random generalization about being a deadbeat dad. There's the perception that you are not doing your best.
Are you and your ex-wife still on good terms?
Goodness.
Yes, we are. In the end, if you are fighting each other, it will give a negative impact on your daughter and your children.
I think things were okay between us because we understood that it was better for us to do this in a cooperative way.
Was it difficult to secure custody of your child?
For me, it's not difficult. It's the only solution to this is not go to court. Don't try to fight to show that you are better and want to win the custody, because in the end, children is the ones going to get affected. Both have to become more mature and put the bigger side to see the bigger picture.
Is it fair for fathers to only be given limited visitation rights to see their kids?
What can you do? It's almost settled law in that sense, that below a certain age, the child will always go to the mother.
Well, basically no. To give the choice to the kids, let them make the choice. Let them learn to grasp the situation and understand, and make them learn how to make choices for themselves.
I mean, I guess that's the situation when you have a society that really entrenches gender roles. Like mothers are the ones that give the love, fathers are the ones that give the discipline.
What's your take on the amount of attention and support the general public gives to divorced men at present?
0. In the men's room, they don't even prepare a diaper change table, so they have to make it accessible for both parents to use.
What advice would you give to someone considering or going through a divorce?
You have to ask yourself these questions. Is there something worth saving in the relationship when you get to the point where divorce is actually an option? What made you fall in love with each other in the first place? What made you care for each other? Seeing if that's still there and whether that has evolved and grown with the both of you.
Show the kids, even though you are divorced, always keep a good relationship with that person, because you have had good experience, good moments, good memories. Don't let what happened in the end dictate what happened before. So look at the good times in order for you to find a solution to benefit all.
And in that sort of situation where you're very aware that perhaps your priority is like, yes, I want my kids to be happy, but I don't necessarily care about my partner's happiness, then obviously when you've reached that bridge, it probably is best to say goodbye at that point. Because being locked together in a relationship where both partners are not happy doesn't just hurt the both of you, it hurts an innocent party, it hurts the child. So what's this t-shirt? This is The Whale. For fans of the Korean music group BTS, you'll recognize where this whale is from. My daughter and I have bonded so much over K-pop. And this is just my little way of showing that I love her, I see her, whatever it is that she goes through in life, that I'm always going to be here for her, and that all I want for her is to be happy.